Hey everyone, welcome back to Immediate Movie Reactions. I'm here after seeing Deadpool and the Wolverine, and I apologize if there's any background noise. It is very loud here. I'm at the mall. I came to see this in the RPX. I was wondering if the upgrade would be worth it, and absolutely it was. I'm going to give you a little bit of a confession here. I've been kind of sick of Wolverine since like the early 90s when Marvel just shoved him in everything. Even though growing up, I think it was like Spider-Man and Wolverine were my two. Deadpool, I've never liked Deadpool. I fucking hate Deadpool. I didn't like him in whatever it was, 92 when he came out in Liefeld and all his garbage nonsense that he was putting out. I didn't like any of his clones that were in all of the stupid Image comics. I'm sorry, I liked a lot of the Image comics. I did not like the Liefeld, Youngblood, all that crap. The only time I really liked Deadpool was when Rick Remender did X-Force. I thought that was amazing. That was a good use of Wolverine as well. But I've kind of not really cared about them, and I'm sick of seeing Deadpool and everything. However, Deadpool 1, Deadpool 2, absolutely fucking hilarious. I love those movies despite all else. I don't know what it is. I don't like fourth wall breaks. I don't like all that. I think it's cheesy. I think it's stupid. However, it's been hilarious. I can't remember laughing at a movie so hard as I laughed at Deadpool 2 when there were literal tears in my eyes. Full Winnie the Pooh, just fucking... So anyways, my recommendation. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm going to highly recommend this movie. I loved it. I said I haven't laughed so hard since Deadpool 2, and now with this movie. I would say that when it starts out, and it starts out at, 1,000 miles an hour, and it's got fourth wall breaks, and it's got joke after joke and silly and all this stuff, and I was like, you know what? They're going to love and thunder this. They're going to drive this shit into the ground, and I'm going to hate it, and I'm going to get angry. And that was about 30 seconds into the film. And by the 3 minute mark, I was fully bought in. This movie is fucking hilarious. The story makes very little sense. We're jumping around between Earth, I think it's 1609 and maybe 660 and blah, blah, blah. And it ends up in 10005. But it doesn't really matter. We never know if this is actually our Deadpool or maybe it's not our Deadpool. There's a Wolverine from another world. There's somehow they're time jumping. The TVA is in this. So what will you need to see this movie? You need to see Deadpool 1. You need to see Deadpool 2. I highly recommend Once Upon a Deadpool. That was, again, fucking hilarious for turning it into a PG-13 movie and still being funny. How the hell did they do that? It's Fred Savage. Come on. Absolutely amazing. And I do think Logan, now, in order to get everything, if you are going to get everything, because this is just filled with references and cameos and drop-ins and everything, and I'm not going to spoil anything because there were times in this movie when I wanted to cheer out loud. I kind of did. I laughed. It was absolutely amazing. I think you kind of need to see everything. You need to see the X-Men movies, and you need to see. I'm not getting into anything. I'm not going to get into it. But if you're a deep fan, if you've followed everything, you're going to pick up on the references. There are things that are in the background, like I know this is maybe kind of cheesy, but at one point Wolverine gets through, or actually Deadpool as well, gets thrown through a window, and they come out, and the shop is Liefeld's House of Feet. It's a sneaker store. Haha, funny because Liefeld can't draw feet. Hey everyone, Alexander from Earth 069, just with a quick break-in. Just got home, got my dog at the park, and totally forgot that I didn't mention my favorite part, the part that I think won me over, which was the appearance of Wolverine from Age of Apocalypse. Completely unnecessary for that to be in this film, such a deep cut, but this is why I love it. Absolutely fantastic, and thank you. Back to your regular scheduled program. What this movie does have is not just is it hilarious start to finish, and I've kind of argued against that these films need to be R-rated, though I think Deadpool proved, and Logan, which is, well, I just recently watched again, brilliant, beautiful film. I think it does prove that you can, as long as you do it right. Just because something's R doesn't mean it's going to be good. But if you can use it appropriately and use it well, and the blood and the violence and the language and the sexual comments and not even innuendo, just outright, oh my God, it's insane. I think that it does make a difference. Now, I don't agree that this is saving the MCU. I think this film is a little too niche. There's a lot of things you kind of need to know to get most of the jokes, even though, I mean, there are obviously things when talking about Wolverine's mask being blowjob handles, right? That's not subtle. That's not something you need to understand the reference for. But I think there's a lot that it's not going to be for every person out there. However, if you have like the Deadpool movies, you're going to love this. I'm looking at my time and I'm looking at my battery and I'm at like 12%. So I'm going to have to go through this pretty quickly. Where a lot of the MCU films have failed recently and fail, like this is ridiculous that we think a film needs to make $1 billion to be successful. That is not a realistic goal or realistic expectation. I think a movie can be successful and not make $1 billion and just be a good, solid film. And I think that this will. I think this movie is going to make a shit ton of money, and I would walk back in and watch it again right now. As it is, I'm probably going tomorrow, and I'll definitely go again this weekend if I don't make it tomorrow, because I want to see this again. There's so much in there that I think I missed. There's so much that I just want to see again. There are quotes from this that, just like Deadpool 1 and 2, I'm going to bring back. I'm going to keep using. I did see this with my kids and my wife. She was not too sure about it, even though she liked the other movies. She didn't want to see it with the kids, and I tell you, it definitely pushed that edge. Now, 14 and 16, so they are at that edge. It's probably something that I'm a questionable parent for taking them to see it, but hearing them just laughing constantly, oh, it's absolutely amazing. The theater is clapping, the theater's cheering. It's an experience. Like, this is what we come to the movies for, and this is where I think it's going to excel, and this is where it's going to be different, that maybe he is Marvel Jesus, because some of the movies that have been out recently haven't done that. They haven't brought that feeling, that like wow factor. And one of the things that I think, not just the humor, not just the blood, not just the absolute animal charisma of these actors and the people that are in the film, is that it has a viable bad guy, a viable villain who you understand and sort of empathize with then, but that also Cassandra Nova is just fucking creepy. Like, she does these things where she like gets into people's heads and it's disturbing, and she feels kind of like Thanos did. Like, she's a legitimate threat. And the TVA is in this, so if you've seen the Loki series and Alioth and all that is kind of thrown in there, I think that's kind of nonsense. There's references to other movies. If you've watched the Mad Max, I don't want to get into too much because I don't want to give anything away, because just seeing the surprises like bit after bit after bit. And this movie, like I said, I thought they were going to Love and Thunder it because they started with the jokes and it never stopped. And the difference is Love and Thunder took the fucking goats that maybe were the funniest part of that movie and just ran it into the ground, and they didn't know when to stop making the jokes. This movie has some serious moments that are punctuated by jokes, and you're feeling still for the characters. You care what's going on, even though it's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. Time travel and multiverses and all that. But it doesn't try to get over serious about it or explain anything like the Multiverse of Madness. It just realizes it's nonsense, and it's there for the spectacle, and it's absolutely brilliant, and it's beautiful, and I fucking love this movie. I love it so much. I wish I could go see this again. So there we are. See it, stream it, or skip it. If you're a fan of any of these, please go see it. If you don't like language, if you don't like violence, if you don't like just hundreds of people being killed, just like brutally murdered. There's a fight scene in a van between, I'm going to give it away, between Wolverine and Deadpool, who just take any opportunity to just throw down and brutally murder each other. And I don't like characters who can't be killed. I don't like characters who are kind of invulnerable. I don't like the Supermans. I like the Batmans. I am sick of the Hulk that can't be destroyed. I like the Spider-Man that's vulnerable. But they take that invulnerability of the two main characters, of the two heroes, and they really they lean into it, and you see things that you couldn't see. I've always said a superhero movie is successful when it does things that only that hero can do, and that's what they do in this movie, and is absolutely, I said it already, I'm saying it again, it's absolutely brilliant. It's hilarious, and please go see it. And while I did it, I forgot again. please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate everyone who is watching. And yeah, I will see you all after the next movie. I appreciate you all. Hey, part 2, end credit scene. Totally forgot that there is a scene that plays during the credits. I'm not going to give anything away, but it's absolutely fantastic. It's really fun, really cool to see. There is an end credit after everything is done that is totally worth sticking around for. And not just that, but at the end of this film, after this fucking violent, bloody, sexual, like, absolutely crazy film, at the end it says a Walt Disney production, which I thought was just as funny. And the music, even though I hate 99% of the songs that are in this film, I think in the context of this, like, again, I'm not gonna give anything away. Brilliant. Oh my God. This isn't like Guardians of the Galaxy where it felt like they were just forcing in these feel-good songs. This is, think back to Angel in the Morning from the first movie. It's just absolutely brilliant. I love it. I'm listening to the soundtrack. It's going to be great. Anyways, thank you for sticking around again. And, again, please hit those buttons and do all that stuff. And I appreciate you. See ya.